2:38 a.m. That's the time when men in bars start coming up to me saying, "Hey, I just want to say I really like your hair. Not everyone can pull that off." "Thanks," I tell them, and I mean it, because some days those are the best lines I hear. "Hey, did anyone ever tell you you look just like," let me guess, Anne Hathaway, Emma Watson, Natalie Portman, Sinead O'Connor, Amber Rose, or that monster from Ghostbusters? And then, of course, they have to ask, because they're expecting some deep humanitarian answer. "Why'd you cut it?" "Well," I tell them, "I was going on a trip to Thailand, and I just couldn't fathom that big curly mess of hair in my head for 3 months straight in the heat and humidity." That's a version of the truth. But that's not really why I cut my hair. See, I cut my hair to stop the nausea. That sick feeling in my stomach when old men told me I was beautiful politely, as if talking to their daughters or their granddaughters, but then lingered on my body for way too long. I cut my hair because years back I was 9 and starting to grow breasts. Yeah, 9 because I'm Eastern European and we develop early. It's all that red meat and anger. But all my friends were Chinese and Japanese and Filipino, and their bodies still had years to go before showing any signs of life. "You're sexy," the boys would yell at me on the playground. "I want to have sex with you." And I go home shaken, unsure of what the hell that even meant. I cut my hair because from the ages of 10 to 12, I was sexually harassed by a boy in my class. He was a high-functioning autistic, which means, well, he accidentally pushed up against me in the lineup to go to PE class, or grabbed my ass during rainy day lunch hours, or talked out loud about how he wants to lick my breasts, or told me he's going to fuck me, or play with my hair when he sat behind me. The principal told me he just wants to be your friend. I lived in fear of running into him in the hallway, had to hum to myself whenever he walked by me to tune out what he was saying. I cut my hair because my father told me that, unfortunately, this was just the beginning of this kind of behavior. I was going to have to get used to it. I cut my hair because by the age of 16, I already forgotten my worth. I went to parties and boys touched my hair and forgot to ask me my name. I guess they just figured it wasn't that important. They put their fingers through my curls and took me by the hand into bed, and I followed, thinking, I guess this is what I'm about. I cut my hair because by the age of 20, I'd finally had enough. So when she grabbed my curls in her hand and sliced them off, in one clean sweep, she chopped off all the voices saying, "I'm gonna fuck you. You're sexy. I want to lick your tits. Oh, I love your hair. He just wants to be your friend. You better get used to it." It all fell to the ground in pieces, and then someone came and swept it all away. So to answer your question, my drunk friend, that's why I cut my hair. It took me 15 years to gather the courage to speak about that. I wrote that poem this winter, locked in my apartment in Montreal. I wrote it for myself. I wrote it for healing. I wrote it for sanity, but I didn't think I was going to perform it. No. It was too ugly. Too much. Too raw. Too stupid, too particular, too personal, too insignificant. Nobody wants to hear this, I thought. No. If I'm going to talk about something ugly, it better be something big, and I wasn't raped or anything, so really, who cares? I minimized my experiences and the experiences of so many women I know because that's what I'd been taught to do. See, our bodies are not things we're supposed to talk about. Unless, of course, we're talking about them being too fat or too skinny or too wrinkly or too saggy, something somebody can make money off of. But our real bodies are menstruating, sometimes not menstruating, big, little, uneven-breasted, sometimes hairy, sometimes full and round and luscious, orgasm-hitting, pleasure-inducing, beautiful, sometimes broken, sometimes painful, sometimes touched without permission. Our fragile, intricate, mind-blowingly powerful, old, wise, all-knowing bodies are supposed to shut up. Well, it's the act of speaking that I'm here to talk to you about today. Because when we speak, we no longer allow others to speak for us. We rewrite our stories. Stories like, "All women are crazy," turn to "all women are magical." Statements like, "What a slut," turn to "what a sexually liberated woman." she's such an angry old hag, turns to, she's such a survivor. I just don't want to sound bossy, turns to, I like it when you do this and this and that. Whispers of, see, it's that time of the month, turns to, I'm being reminded of my God-given connection to the earth, moon, and abundant fertility. See, we have the power to liberate these stories. We have the power to retell them. I first gathered the courage to perform the poem you just heard when I heard a woman speak about being molested by a family member. If she can talk about that, I thought, then I can talk about this. She unknowingly helped me give myself permission to speak openly about something that made me feel angry, uncomfortable, and ashamed. And it's the only way that I've been able to heal. So I stand here today. I stand here today hoping to pay some of that fearlessness forward. Because for me, spoken word has given my body a voice. When the audience groan at things that were minimized my entire life, it has given the validation that it never got. When they laugh, it releases a little more tension, a little more pain. For you, it doesn't have to be spoken word. It can be singing, it can be dancing, it can be writing or painting or acting or filmmaking or speaking to your partner, but speak. Speak about pleasure, speak about pain, and the best way to get you off. Speak about hair growing in weird places. Speak about that time he hit you. Speak about all those times you felt violated. Speak about little girl, big body. Speak about infections. Speak about blood. And not just in little groups, in quiet corners. Speak in front of people you don't know. Speak it loudly for all the women, for all the world to hear. Speak for yourselves, speak for your sisters, speak for your daughters. Because being a woman and everything that entails is something to be damn proud of. So I'm going to leave you with this next poem. And feel free to snap or whatever you want to do. The doctor says, I can give you some more painkillers. Says, why are you resisting this operation? Says, the test results were negative, but I'm going to give you another round of antibiotics just in case. Can you hear me, doctor? This is not the kind of pain that can be numbed or cut out or sterilized. This is the kind of pain that has been taken into my flesh in the form of blood flowing through umbilical cords, embraces after long talks, and the chocolate we share. The clenched teeth, bitten lips, and winces of other women live in the myofascial strata of my pelvic floor. They are constant companions. My mother's shock when the nurse slapped her in the face for screaming during childbirth with me lives in my left perineal nerve, and I can feel it vibrate on the day she's filled with shame because she hasn't used every ounce of her being to cook and clean and work and worry like Balkan women are supposed to. I'm pretty sure T3s have some kind of contraindication of that kind of thing. And my grandmother's resentment when her husband forbade her from working because she was becoming a bad mother. Of course, it was okay if he didn't come home at night. Lives in my Bartholin gland, the resentment that swells when I look at pictures of her in front of the house back in Panama when she was young and full of dreams, like it swelled in her ovaries until the cancer came. No, I'm not a medical professional, doctor. Thanks for asking. I just don't think incisions and removals are exactly long-term solutions to this particular ailment. And my other grandmother's irritation at the husband who always yelled wife, or was it woman, because woman and wife are the same word in my language. And criticized her cooking for 55 years, lives in my womb. My uterus holds her self-denial, which she exercises regularly whenever she voluntarily chews on bone so everybody else can eat meat. No pretty pink pillbox of Crisel, La Lesser Yaz is going to rebalance her neglected needs. In my childhood friend's heartbreak, the first time her father called her a slut for having a hickey on her neck at the age of 16, as the three of us stood in the elevator of their old apartment building. Lives in my vaginal canal. Thanks for the suggestion, doctor, but I don't think douching is the answer. And my little sister's disgust at the curves on her body, at the fat between her fingertips, at the food she moved slowly into her mouth, trying to gauge how much self-consciousness she should wear that day, lives on my labia minora. Plastic surgery cannot adequately alter the root of her self-loathing. So you see, doctor, this is not the kind of pain that can be numbed or cut out or sterilized. This is the kind of pain that all women share. So before you offer me more pills or surgeries that don't work, ask them to tell you where it hurts.